On this edition of Forever Home, we're talking countertops and solid surface. Let's take the tour. Here we go. It is a beautiful day here in Avondale, Pennsylvania. We're continuing this home renovation project where we're putting new vanities into 2 of the bathrooms here in this 55 and older community, along with replacing the kitchen countertop. So we put the vanities in the last video. And in this episode, we're going to be going through the process of templating out the countertops and preparing for the next steps. Let's take you inside and show you what's going on. Here we go. So anytime we're talking countertops for you, it's a multi-step process. So if we're doing any upgrades, in this case, we replaced the vanities, and we'll show you those here in a minute. In the kitchen, we're just putting new countertops on, but there's a series of sequence of steps that have to happen before this can all take place. So step 1, we need to come in, disconnect and prep all of the countertops for removal. Sometimes we want to do a day or 2 in advance of whenever the countertop template is going to be taking place. That way our crew has done all the hard work of making sure things are disconnected, and we're not running up against the gun to make sure that when our templater's coming in to do their work, that we're not going to take a chance on holding them up. So we've pulled all the screws, we got everything disconnected out of these countertops last week. We left just the bare minimum essentials in there for what needed to keep things operating and doing what they needed to do until it was time. We had a 10 o'clock schedule this morning, so we got here about 8:30 and began taking everything apart, getting all the countertops off. And you can see we've got one of them staged here in the hallway. I've got another one staged here behind me going out into the laundry area. And so we just need to get everything out of the way. And then what our templater is going to do is they're going to come through there and check everything for level. We're going to make sure that everything is where it needs to be as far as being on the same plane. Even if it's not totally level, that it's on the same plane, that everything's in line. We make any adjustments that need to happen. And then they're going to come through and start drawing a sketch and taking some very detailed measurements and then bringing out the equipment that's going to allow them to find all of those exact corners and plot this for the computer so that when we go to cut the solid surface, whether that's quartz, granite, whatever the case may be, that we're ready. Once he has that loaded into the computer, back at the office, and our client can go in, meet with them in the office, look at the digital layout, figure out where seams have to go, if any, where the sink's going, making sure we've selected the right sink. We've got all those little details in place. But the process of cutting and getting that countertop fabricated is usually about a 2-week process. Well, do you want to be without your kitchen sink for 2 weeks? Most clients of ours don't. So one of the services that we offer whenever we're doing solid surface for you, we're going to pull those countertops for you in advance. We're going to do the template, and as soon as the template is done, we're going to reinstall those cabinets, the countertop, typically same day. Occasionally it has to be the next morning. But we'll get those reinstalled. We'll get your sink hooked back up temporarily, so at least you have a kitchen for the 2 weeks while things are happening. And then that third step is when we are ready to come out the day of the install or the night before. We're going to come back out. We're going to remove your countertops for the final time, take those with us and dispose of them, and we're ready for the solid surface team to come in and install all of that. And then we can talk backsplash, under cabinet lighting, whatever else happens to take place during that time. So this is Alan. Alan's working on some of our different pieces for us in terms of getting that computer sketch done. And this fancy piece of equipment does all of those calculations, figuring out what angle he's pulling at and how far that string's coming out, and marking all of those different corners, which is going to allow them to load this in the computer and build this exactly. Because a lot of times what you're going to find is in a kitchen like this, depending how good of a job the framers did, that corner, it looks square, it looks 90 degrees, but it may not be 90 degrees. It could be wider, it could be narrower, and they have to take that into account as they're building that solid surface countertop. And so this piece of equipment allows them to get all of those very specific marks, know exactly where the center of the sink is going. We have had situations where when we look at a sink, where the center of the sink cabinet is not necessarily center of the sink window, and then you have to decide, well, where do you want your faucet? Do you want it centered on the cabinet? Do you want it centered on the sink or on the window? There is no right answer. We've had that in a couple different situations, and each client makes a different decision. It really comes down to personal preference of which one you think you are going to notice the least. Now in this situation, everything's lined up pretty straight. Everything's right in the right vertical row, so no issues here with that piece of things. Now, her original island was just a bar overhang on this side. Because of the way her kitchen is laid out, the sink really breaks up her continuous countertop, and we do think a lot about continuous countertop when we think about cooking and especially baking as we get ready for the holiday season right now. We want to make sure that we have plenty of room to do prep. And there's not a lot of that there, so what we're going to be doing on this project is taking the island, not only having an overhang to this side, we're going to be adding 12 inches to this side to take her up to about 5 feet worth of prep space in there. So let me take you into the other 2 rooms, and we'll show you the other places that we're going to be adding solid surface. So this is the master bathroom, and we recently, in the previous video, replaced this vanity and put this new one in. So this is ready to rock and roll. The one challenge we noticed with the old top is that the sinks actually hit where this drawer was going to be. So we had to leave this drawer out while we had those temporarily installed. So that's one of the things that they're going to be taking into account when we figure out where the bowls are going in this sink. So the same process is going to happen here. They're going to take some measurements, they're going to bring the machine in, template all the corners, figure out where things are going, and then this is likely going to get a side splash and a backsplash. But when the client goes in to meet with the solid surface folks, they're going to have a digital design meeting where they look at exactly what came out of that fancy machine and how the layout looks and where things have to go, and give her the final chance to make any last minute decisions on that. We're figuring out what size radius corners you want, whether it's a little 1 inch, like the size of a quarter radius. Do you want a 3-inch radius? What type of edge? There's about 8 different edges you can choose from. So we need to make all those decisions before they go into the fabrication stage. So this is the master. Let me take you next door into the hall bathroom. So this is our hall bathroom, our guest bathroom. Again, brand new vanity we just put in here. And this morning we came in, we took the top off of that, set that aside for now so we can get the measurements, get the template, get everything done that we need to get done. She's gonna be putting square sinks into this. So that's gonna look beautiful. And then same thing, we're gonna do side splash, backsplash on here. In the kitchen, we're doing a tile backsplash, so that's not gonna have a stone back to it. But so this is prepped and ready. And then as soon as, again, once we're done, before we leave here today, our crew's gonna come back and we're gonna put that old top back in here so that for the next 2 weeks while we're waiting, usually it's about a 14-day period to get these done. During that 14-day period, she at least has a functional bathroom that she can use. And then we'll come back in 2 weeks when they schedule the appointment to do the install, and we'll pull all this one final time and dispose of all that. So that pretty much wraps up things here in the kitchen side for getting this quartz countertop prepped. Jeremy and I are gonna take and throw the countertop back on while Alan works on the other 2 rooms. And we'll show you the next part in the next video. Hang with us. And through the magic of television, Jeremy and I've got the sinks back on. We're just gonna have to reconnect all the plumbing. Meanwhile, Alan's working on the master, getting that set. By the time we're finished here in another probably half an hour, 45 minutes, she will be back to get back together, 100% ready to rock and roll, and put her stuff back in her cabinets. And in 2 weeks, we'll come back and install the countertops, followed by the tile backsplash. It'll be exciting. So we're all back together here in the master. Top's back on, water's hooked up, everything's ready to rock and roll. So for the next 2 weeks, she's all set to go, can run that, use what she needs to use. And once we get the digital layout done, that's happening here in a couple days, she's gonna go and preview all of that. And usually about 14 days from now, we're coming back to the install. So we'll take everything back apart, dispose of all this, and coming through, we'll take you in and we'll show you the hall bath. And same situation here in the hallway bath. We are connected, hooked up, working again, draining what it needs to do. And keep her happy for the next 2 weeks, and then we'll come on back and put it all back together. So that's an overview of the process when we're talking about putting solid surface in this case quartz, but granted it's all sort of works out the same way. If you're looking to have countertops, backsplashes, new vanities done at your house, give our team a call, take a picture of what's bugging you, send it to us right here on our Facebook page. Click that contact us button there at the top. Send us a photo of the contact information. We have a dedicated office staff standing by to answer your calls weekdays, 9:30 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon at 484-748-0008. Choose option 2 for coat-built, your full service construction and renovation company. And extension 2 for new products. There's nothing we don't do. Roofing, siding, windows, doors, decks, anything on the inside of your home. Renovate your bathroom, your kitchen, finish your basement. Plumbing, electrical, drywall, spackle paint, build you an addition, a custom dream house, a garage. Give our team a call. Let's see what problem we can solve for you. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button. Click the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get updated with all of our new content, new videos 2 to 3 times a week. Help to educate you on what you need to be looking for and what questions you need to ask when you're interviewing a contractor for work around your home so you can separate those who know what they're doing and are going to do it right from those who don't. This is Drew in beautiful Avondale, Pennsylvania, and we're finished with it. You'll be proud to say it's not just done, it was coat built. We'll catch you in the next edition of Forever Home. Bye for now.